All right, friends, it's time for chapter 4 of Lily and Miss Liberty. All right. Crowns for sale. After dinner, Papa and Grandma helped Lily carry the crowns downstairs. Papa placed 2 wooden crates on the sidewalk. Then he put a plank across to make a shelf. He nailed Lily's sign to the front of the plank. "Good luck, Lily," Grandma said as she and Papa went back up to the apartment. Lily arranged her crowns on the plank. Only 8 would fit, so she put the rest on the front step beside her. She sat down and waited. Suddenly, she remembered something. People would want to see themselves with the crowns on. She ran upstairs to get her little mirror. Lily was just putting on one of her crowns when Mr. Kaminsky walked by with his dog. "My, you look pretty today, Lily. Are you a princess?" "No, Mr. Kaminsky. I am selling crowns for Miss Liberty's pedestal. Would you like to buy one?" "Oh, no, thank you. It wouldn't fit my head." "But I made them so they would fit everybody," Lily said eagerly. "How about if I give you 5 cents and you keep the crown?" Mr. Kaminsky pulled out some money from his pocket. "Thank you," Lily said, but she was disappointed. She watched Mr. Kaminsky continue down the street with his dog. Mrs. Rosen stuck her head out of the window. "I'm much better," she called. "I'm up and about again." Lily smiled. "That's good, Mrs. Rosen. Would you like to buy a crown?" "What for?" Mrs. Rosen asked. "It's for Miss Liberty's pedestal." "Ugh, that statue. Who wants it? I want to know," Mrs. Rosen said as she withdrew from the window. "I do, Mrs. Rosen," Lily said softly, but Mrs. Rosen was gone. Horses and carriages passed up and down the street, but no one seemed to be looking her way. Several people walked by, but they didn't stop. Now Joe O'Grady was coming toward her, pushing a baby carriage. Lily looked at her hopefully. "Would you like to buy a crown?" she asked. Joe picked up a crown and put it on. "Ooh, you look pretty," Lily said, admiring Joe's bright red hair piled on top of her head. Joe peered at herself in Lily's mirror. "How much?" she asked. 10 cents. Lily held her breath. "All right," Joe O'Grady said. "It's for a good cause." She gave Lily 10 cents and put the crown in her carriage. Lily wondered why she didn't wear it. Just then, Lily spotted Rachel coming toward her from across the street. "What are those?" Rachel asked, pointing to the crowns. "They're crowns, like the ones on Miss Liberty." "How come you made so many?" "I'm selling them to get money for the pedestal," Lily said. "They're 10 cents each." "Can I try one on?" Lily handed her the crown she had on her head. Rachel put it on. "Let me see how I look." She peered at herself in the mirror. "Not bad," she said. "You can have it," Lily said impulsively. "But I don't have 10 cents, Rachel said. "That's all right. You can still have it." "Thanks," Rachel paused. "You know what?" "What?" Lily asked. "I'm not French, like I said." Lily looked surprised. "You're not?" "My mother said I'm Polish." "You know what?" Lily said. "I'm not French either. I'm named after my aunt in Ireland." "But we could pretend to be French, couldn't we?" Rachel said. "Bonjour! That means good morning." Lily put on another crown. "Bonjour," she said. Rachel stood on the sidewalk in front of Lily's stand. "I think we should yell to get people to stop. We can yell together." Lily grinned at her best friend. Selling crowns with Rachel was going to be fun. "Crowns for sale," they yelled. 10 cents a crown to help Miss Liberty." A fancy carriage pulled by 2 black horses stopped in front of the stand. A lady leaned out of the window. "A crown, did you say? I'll take 2 for my daughters." Rachel raced up to the carriage with 2 crowns, handed them to the lady. "Thanks," she said when she received the 2 dimes. As the carriage moved on, Rachel ran into the street and began yelling. Crowns for sale, buy a crown for Miss Liberty. By 5 o'clock, all the crowns were sold. When they counted the money, they had made $1.35. That wasn't so hard, was it? Rachel said cheerfully. See you in school tomorrow, Lily. Lily watched Rachel skip across the street, holding on to the crown perched on her head. Imagine making all that money for Miss Liberty's pedestal. Won't Mama be surprised? And that is chapter 4. So answer those comprehension questions for chapter 4. Meet me back here on YouTube in however long it takes you to answer those, and we will read chapter 5 together. The fun grows bigger. See you then.